Hi, I'm Ashley Adamson, and today we're going to be going into my book. We're going to cover stage 2, exploration, and your transition roadmap. And we're going to talk about what it's like to explore, and we'll dive into more stuff that I didn't cover in the book, because the book is really a condensed form of everything that you need to know for transitioning, and I didn't go on these massive wild tangents because I wanted you to get into the most important parts and then get you going. But today, since we have a video and I can talk more and segue more, we're gonna go into some of my additional thoughts on this book as we go through it. If you'd like to get it, it's in the link below, and check it out. So, stage 2, exploration. Oh yeah, and by the way, I hope you're gonna be smarter after this video because there's gonna be some information here that I think is pretty informative and should be helpful. So, stage 2, exploration. You ready? So, exploration begins when you begin to find what feels right for you to do and not complying with your assigned gender role. You begin to realize there's a true self beyond the socially conditioned one. Your true self may appear in sparks of euphoria or moments where you think to yourself, this just feels right. Listen to this. It is your inner compass. You may not know who you are at this stage, but you will be discovering this feeling of rightness as you try on gender-affirming clothes and experiment. This curiosity brings on a period of excitement as you put yourself through different trails to figure out what feels right. Starting out, you may not know if you're trans or not, but eventually you come to the minimum understanding that your identity is not cis. And here is the little graph. So this is the starting point where everything is kind of normal. Now you're at this point where you are, hey, wait a second, maybe I should explore my gender. And this is kind of the euphoria right here. As you start to explore, maybe you wear dresses and it feels good. And you're approaching the precipice because the next thing that's going to happen is if you discover you're trans, you're going to go down. But we'll get into that in the next stage. The exploration stage, honestly, is the most exciting stage because there is all this euphoria, there's all of this newness and freshness to life, and you're just like, oh my God, I feel wonderful. Here's a picture of me when I started exploring, and you can see that I'm wearing a wig, and I look pretty good in that dress, right? Like, hey, like there's some benefits to being a skinny guy your whole life, and now you can actually wear dresses, and yeah, like this was pretty much the outfit when I saw myself in the mirror later that night when I went dancing, to be like, oh damn, I am a woman. And she looks really good there. She looks really good. Yeah, but of course I was a they, them for quite some time. So here's my story that I just kind of mentioned. In my late 20s, I finally worked up the courage to explore my gender. I'd felt the desire to cross-dress, and I put that in quotes because, in retrospect, it's not cross-dressing if you're a trans woman, right? I used to cross-dress from childhood, but always felt disgusting for liking it. Oh my God. The self-disgust in being a trans person it runs so deep. It runs so deep, doesn't it? Like, I feel that even until recently, it took me a lot of kind of work to unwind how deeply entwined you attach your negative disgust to your own body parts, your genitalia, when you're naked, like all of that stuff, especially in a sexual setting. The shame ran pretty deep, and it took me years to get to a point where I could consciously give myself a chance to look past the shame. It was one fateful night when I went out clubbing with some girlfriends in my femme attire that I saw my feminine self in the mirror for the first time. I'll never forget the feeling. I was stunned to see someone else looking back at me. It was deeply moving and also incredibly euphoric. Was I really a woman? It felt like I had found a secret doorway into myself, and now that I saw her in the mirror, I didn't know if I could ever unsee that. Once you see, you cannot unsee. That was basically like the words of my spirit guide. I was seeing the real me for the first time, and in retrospect, this was my spirit guide showing me the power of seeing one's truth. When you give yourself the gift, this is the good stuff right here. When you give yourself the gift to unbind your biased view of yourself, you can get a glimpse of what's really there. This is like super, super important. What I'm saying here is that you have a binding to your own perception. You are bound to your own perception, which is biased to be leaning towards seeing yourself in a certain way. And when you are identifying, or you thought you were cis male, that's for me, that's how I saw it. I was bound to my identity and how I saw myself as a male. But the greatest gift that I gave myself in that moment in doing exploration is I gave myself an opportunity to let go of what I had bound my identity to and my own perception to. And that's the gift. Give yourself the gift. Give yourself the ability to explore and to look beyond what you are attached to so you can find what is actually you. Because all of this exploration is kind of like chasing this feeling of finding who you are. You have to seek to push yourself beyond the bounds of what you're comfortable with, because your comfort is all of those thought loops and barriers and fences that you've created to trap yourself, because society has imposed this in a lot of ways, and hegemony and ideological structures and consumerism and all of that. All of these things profit off of you staying within your pen. And when you admit that you're trans, you're going very much outside that domain of typical consumerism, typical capitalism, typical patriarchal hierarchies. And this is groundbreaking. It's shattering. It creates a lot of controversy in modern day society, which is ridiculous because we've always been here. But that's another story, right? But what can you do to give you, and maybe you've already transitioned, right? But what can you do to always give yourself this permission and this gift to let go of some of the things that you're attached to and to see something new there for who you are? These glasses are literally a new way of seeing myself that I'm still getting used to. I hope that I look okay in them. I'm just not used to this. Let's go into the thought meditation. All right, close your eyes and think about this. No, but actually, close your eyes and just give yourself to contemplate this, and I'll try to give you some space to think through this. These are some questions to ask. Imagine yourself at the end of your life looking back on your journey. Okay, so put yourself there. Imagine where you are at the end of your life. Where are you going to die? Maybe the way I saw it is I was sitting in a bed in a hospital and I was going to die there, but that's not a nice place. But just imagine wherever you may see yourself at the end of your life, old. Look back at your life. Look back and ask yourself, what did you most enjoy out of your life? What brought you so much joy? What was one of those decisions that made you really happy? And then, is there anything that you wish you did differently? More specifically, any regrets? Is there anything in your past, now looking back from the future, that you regret not doing? And is there anything specific about your gender that you wish you would have done? For me, this was the big question, because when I realized that my biggest regret was not knowing if I was a woman or not, holy cow, I am going to make that decision and find out. I didn't know if I was a woman or not, but I did know that I wanted to know if I was. By kind of stepping out of this, and this is kind of the end of the meditation, stepping out of this, what have you learned? What have you gained from looking at this? And what can you change in your habits? What can you change in your behaviors to kind of change your life? See what goes next. So that is stage 2. And now we're going to move into stage 3 in the next video, which is realizing denial. This is the point where if you got this far to realizing that you are trans, now you are realizing that you were in denial, and now all of your reality comes to a head. We'll go into that in the next episode. If you'd like to purchase this book, you can get it down below. And if you'd like to support me, you can purchase the book, you can purchase my meditation series, or you can support me on Patreon, because Patreon, oh my God, y'all patrons, thank you so much for supporting me. It is so much. It helps me so much. And if you want to join my community, you can hit the Discord link below and say hello to everyone else. We're a beautiful little community and we support each other. Sending you lots of love. Bye.